Ooh, I'm gonna get some vanilla ice cream. Ice cream, ice cream. Hope I enjoyed my nap. I guess I did. It was probably pretty short. I'm not, dude. Ah, ah. We're not having a day where the spoon stays in the ice cream. That day is not today. Hope I got this right. I might have got the sign wrong. DY is Y mid. Yeah, I got it wrong. I got the sign wrong. I'm already telling you. Oh God. Okay, wrong two ways. One is we moved it the opposite direction, and two, the text didn't go with it. Dude, what the hell is going on with the spoon today? I've just got a mug with ice cream and the spoon just... All right, we're getting rid of this spoon. It just hit the floor. Different spoon. Different spoon. How am I supposed to enjoy my ice cream with a spoon lying everywhere in such a fashion? Possessed spoon. Okay, so why... Oh, wait, I said label.y0. Did we already add it? No. Oh, we did. We did already add it. It's by value. It's by value. So that's why. This is not the backing. Okay, so we're going to do this. I'm going to put all this in there. All right. Okay, well, we're using... All right, we won't do that. We won't do this. Let's do this. Chocolates still in the Owen. Okay, did the Casey delivery ever get there? It has not. And I have since moved from the place to which he sent that. So it is quite likely that... Wait, it's... what the fuck? I didn't... I thought I swapped that, but I didn't. Okay. That is better. That is better. Okay, so I want to make all of these more practical, like I was saying. So I'm just going to start changing them. This is going to be Bard, comma, Druid. This is just going to say Warrior, Thief, Wizard. And that can actually go north a little bit. Okay, well, actually, before we start moving the markers, that's going to be a pain in the ass. So we will once again... Once again, make a release build for that. So like the Northeast Quadrant, I got no problem with those names now. Well, okay, here is two. Shouldn't say here is two. We're just going to say monsters. So like now everything up here is good. This is good. This is good. Promise, Promise 2, and Promise 3 should be probably at the same Y coord. Okay, let's do names. Names, focusing on names. Maybe we don't need Heroes in Light and Heroes in Light Extended. Maybe that can just be one area. Or maybe it's advanced instead of extended. Um, Promise Extended North. And Extended Promise. Okay. Release build. And we'll have some more ice cream while we wait for that. You use the same font since Braid, yeah. Yep. Yeah. Just waiting. Just waiting. There we go. Vanilla ice cream is a superfood. Okay. Yeah, let's look at. So the font size is a frame late. That's kind of ass. Kind of ass. Okay, so what is this area? No, that's promise 2, not that area. This area. What levels do we have here? These are, this is, so these are about the Minecrafts. This is not about the Minecrafts. This is about. So we're going to call this one Carts and Rod. Okay, that's better. Promise extended south is Torque. Okay. Okay. Instead of carts, I'll say cart because it's one gameplay entity. But then we say mirrors plural. But we wouldn't say rods. That's weird. I don't know. So instead of mirrors and light, we could say reflected light. Like it's like how reflected beams instead of trying to be poetic. Like heroes in light is kind of poetic. Let's try that. Mirrors, reflected beams. Reflected beams. Okay, I'm starting to be happier with this. The Stones Illuminated and Stones Illuminated 3 is weird because there's no 2 anymore. And also, let's put those together at least. Also, we just maybe could come up with better names than that. So we should just call that this one down here. Through skinny beam. What's the official name for this beam? Squeeze dragon. I mean, that's sort of two things put together, but this is fine. There's a reason that it's two things put together. Yeah, these are better. These names are working better for me. Except, so now the problem that I have is I'm using comma for two things. I'm using comma for lists of names, and I'm using comma for descriptors like Heroes and Stones East. And I don't want to use parentheses because that would make Steve Jobs angry. Could use a dash. We could use an M dash, and then everyone will think it's generated by AI. Grab a drink now. Wonder if the language string lib supports ASCII code pages UTF. I mean, everything is UTF-8 by default. So code pages are just stupid. Like, they're a really complicated thing that you would rather not ever have to think about. Um, on if you have to think about them, like you're doing something on Windows that involves code pages, that's fine, but nobody else should have to inherit that complexity. So, yeah, we assume UTF-8 for the most part, but also it like usually doesn't matter because we're not usually doing operations that care that much about the encoding. Camera is black box. What? It was working when I started. It was. Maybe it's out of battery. Let's let it rest for a minute. The camera is sleeping for a moment, and then maybe it'll come back. Maybe the camera will come back. Okay. I'm going to start changing positioning. Center column. So we kind of want to center the label in the area where it lives. But on the other hand, we want good vertical spacing between them. Warrior Thief Wizard seems fine. Um, monsters. Although Warrior Thief Wizard could go up a little bit. Like if we really want to do something there that makes sense, we could have roughly even spacing. Roughly even spacing. Spacing. I kind of wonder why we get a frame rate dip here. Anyway. Anyway. Okay, so Warrior Thief Wizard can go north a little bit more. Like 4 squares. So these are not going to live update. I need to restart them. It's sad, but it is what it is. All right. Warrior Thief Wizard. Monsters. I'm going to move north just like 1 question mark. Well, we could see how many squares it is. So this is y equals 87. This is now y equals 106. So it's 19. Oh. Wait, what? Oh, yeah, 19. this should be, I don't know, 125, 119. So it's not evenly spaced. One 135. Well, maybe we do 16. 16, 119, 103. That's and then oh, that is 16. I think I messed something up counting initially. Anyway. Okay, so now we've got these four in the middle, the heroes together, the bard druid, and all that. They're centered horizontally and they're evenly spaced vertically. Even though, if I were thinking about the monsters label in isolation, I would move it north a fair bit. Okay. Okay. So promise, promise 2, promise 3. The thing is, those stretch out in a line. So you kind of want them to be lined up, but maybe not. It's just you don't want to give people the impression that the areas are offset vertically. So the heroes in light marker and the heroes in light advanced. So those look like they're centered. We can check that. But they both should move right by, I don't know, like 6 squares or something. At least. At least. We gotta find them. We gotta find them. That's one. Right. We can't tell who points at that, but maybe we. Yeah, I don't know. Where's the pickups? Where's the map pickups for these? Okay, so this one's here, right? I think I prefer, well, I guess I don't prefer to put this in the room. What is this one? Whose marker is that? It's probably not anyone. Okay, so that's that map marker. And then you do some stuff. You get in here. You go in here. When do you get that pickup? Do we never give it to you? I mean, we must because we're drawing the label. That's probably behind. Ah, there it is. Okay, so this is x equals 25. This is x equals 25. So I'm going to move it over by 6 and check that out. Seems okay. It's a little unreadable from the background. I don't know. Maybe we got to make those backings darker manually. My washing machine has just completed, which means I will go up and quickly pop the clothes into the dryer cycle. Does anyone got questions? This Heroes in Water label should probably be halfway vertically between Bard, Druid, and Monsters. How often do you just play through game parts? Depends on where in development you are. Toward the beginning, probably a fair bit. Right now, not really, because we know how everything goes. Like, I mean, sometimes I'll be playing through for a specific purpose, but the question just play through kind of implied, just apropos of nothing, which that's not really how it is for me. Okay, so monsters is here. And we said 16, so we want 111 for this one. Um, 111. Okay. That looks good. I would actually move that to the right, like 3 squares, actually, come to think of it. Good, good, good. Here is duplicated, could go to the right by 5. Right? Is it this? Double check that. Okay. We'll make it blue like the others. And we'll do that. Okay, good. That looks good. Here's in Water North. Does not look good. We can't really move it down a ton. Here's in Mirrors. Oh, Heroes in Water. It's kind of over a Heroes in Mirrors area partially. That's why it was up so far. We could just do one Heroes in Water. I don't know. No, it's fine. It's fine. Heroes and Mirrors could go down to the appropriate centering, right? So this -8. This is 103, so 95. Windows 95. Sometimes things don't appear as I expect. I don't know what's going on there. Till I undo, so that's a little weird, but okay. So we said 95. Do we have a horizontal adjustment for that? Maybe not. Maybe not. Where do we want to do with the pickup? This pickup could go here. Okay, so we're gonna extend this to just include this, because generally when you pick up the thing, it's going to display the area name, and we want you to officially be in the area when that occurs. That said, actually, this would have been fine to drag up there because this is also part of the same area. Okay. Let's load that. It feels kind of funny that the Heroes and Stones West label is visibly higher than Heroes in Water North, but the area is visibly higher. What? Like, what do you even mean? Like it's designating the area. It's not just a label in space. It's designating the area. Now that said, okay, Heroes in Water North does include some squares further north. So we could move it up a little bit and that might look better, but it still would not make sense to put it all the way north because then we're moving it from its other stuff. Let's try. Where is the area marker? There we go. Okay. How much do we think? Could move it like 5. Might be too much. But it does include those water screens, technically. And then we could move it just like 1 square east. I'll do 2. Why not? Okay. Yeah, if anything, the Heroes and Stones West. Well, first of all, it's not west enough. Secondly, it should be up north a little bit. It's just you're getting really close to the edge, but maybe that's fine. I think we should center it on the screens there. So we're actually going to move it north a little. Sorry. Sorry. How much west? How much north? Like really, like half a screen, like 8 west at least. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3. Let's try that. It's probably maybe too far north. I mean, it still needs to go left like 3. Na, 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 na. I would bring it now south 1. That's pretty good. I mean, yeah, we're trying to do this very ordered and centered thing, but sometimes that just doesn't make sense. Because sometimes we're trying to label an area that would not, you know, that would not. All right, here is an artifacts. Can go north like 2 at least. Maybe more. We'll see. We're going to do 2 and we're going to see how that is. Feels uncentered. We need like at least 1. Oh, there we go. That's on the midline of the room. Natural place to put it. Oh, God. My entire monitor just reset. All right. Cool. Yeah, all right. That's pretty good. Instead of having reflected beams north and reflected beams south, we could just rotate it 90 degrees so it's sideways and it says reflected beams. Ha ha ha. Ha ha. Ha. Or they could just both say reflected beams. Or maybe we just have one area marker that just says reflected beams. Anyway, this is already a lot better. It is a lot better. Some stuff is so Heroes and Stones West is fighting a little bit. Like I want to put it in the middle of the room because that looks good, but I also want to put it 8 north of Heroes Together. Oh, it's also it's actually not in the middle of the room. It's in the middle of whatever is that ocean area around the word stones, but maybe that's what looks the best. But like it should go south at least 1 to be on the actual midline of the room. Okay. Heroes in Light could go east a little, but maybe it's fine. Like we already moved that and Heroes in Light advanced east. I think they could go 2 more or whatever. That one gone now. What? Where'd it go? Names. I don't know, dude. Okay. Yeah, that's all right. Okay, so southwest quadrant is the only one that's still kind of a mess. Promise, Promise 2, Promise 3 is the difficult part and made more difficult by the fact that we may change those names to something longer and that'll make it harder. So let's just be cognizant of the fact that we're likely going to change the names. Okay, Promise 2 goes west a little bit. That's just going to happen no matter what. I don't know by how much. 3 is probably fine. see how that feels. Let's see what that does. Okay, so promise 3 could go east by 3. Okay, since that's a darkened area, we wanted to go south too, probably, maybe more. I walk along darkened corridors. You guys know that song? Quote song, unquote. I walk along. Maybe that was too much. Maybe it goes north 1 from here. Terrain made you miss Creeper World. I don't know what that is. Path of Exile dev about some novel lighting simulation. Remind you of an article about the lighting technology in the Witness Down. That was a long time ago. It was a while ago. Not gonna lie. It was some time ago, yes. This actually doesn't look too bad. I mean, Promise 2, and Promise 3 are not in a line. They probably can't be in a line. So it's fine. So Torque. I want to move Skipping Stones south a little and Torque north, because right now they're kind of horizontal to each other. And but they're off by like 1. So it just looks like a mistake. Skipping Stones, I don't know how far south. Maybe 5? I don't know. How would that? Yeah, especially because we're covering more space. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna go to Torque. And we're gonna move that north by like 2. I don't know. And then west by 1 for now. Let's see what that does. I mean, it kind of wants to be 1 more. Maybe not. Maybe it wants to be 1 north. Then it's too close to Promise 2. So Stones Illuminated and Squeeze Dragon can both go north a little bit. So we could go whatever is the vertical difference between Torque and Skipping Stones. So this is y equals 53. This is y equals 45. That's 8 again. Okay. So we want 37 for Stones Illuminated. Where are you? Okay. And then let's just try putting this one in the middle of his room. And scooching him left. Okay, that somehow doesn't look. So Skipping Stones and Stones Illuminated are too close. Stones Illuminated could go south 1, I think, and we'd be fine. It could also go west. It could go west to line up with Torque. So wait. No wonder I couldn't see it. So it's south 1. And then Torque is at x equals 41. Let's try that. I mean, that's pretty okay. Instead of stones, comma, illuminated, let's just say stones illuminated. Except it's not really okay. Sometimes things bother me for years and I don't know why until a certain point. Oh, actually, no. What I was about to say is not true. Never mind. But illuminated, if you have a stone, and what kind of bothers me is if you have a stone, a beam shining on the stone, the beam is not necessarily affecting the stone, but the stone is interacting with the beam for sure. I don't know. I don't know. Instead of reflected beams south and reflected beams north, I know what it's called. So you start here and then you go here. Instead of reflected beam, this is why they pay me the big bucks right here, guys. This is it. This is the magic juice of art game development that you're about to see. Okay? Are you ready? That's just called reflected beams. What's the other one called? This one's called beams reflected. Boom! I get a major award now. I get a major award. Okay. Now what? This is pretty good. I mean, we could approximately ship this at this point. Let's try an experiment. I mean, we're not going to try to like globally solve for any language. Our camera's still off, of course. Let's see. Let's try turning that back on. No, it's guys, I don't know what to tell you. Oh, the cable looks kind of loose. Maybe. Maybe. Does it think it's on? It does. It's on. It is displaying an image. I'm gonna. Do I need to restart OBS? Do you think? Oh, there we go. I threatened to kill it, and it came back. Beams reflected sounds like a town name. A town where? What kind of towns do you live in? Little language experiment here. Okay, well, there's no translations for these. So the thing is, oh, well, this function, okay, these functions generally are not doing a good job for Chinese. We're going to have to fix this before the demo at some point. I guess I should fix it now. Let's see if it's that way in Korean. Is it KO or KR? It was KR in past games. KO now, maybe? Yeah, Korean also not good. That's, I'm not sure why, but we should figure it out right now because this does not look good. There are many ways in which it doesn't look good. There's the little square buttons are going off the top of the screen. Why is that? Why is the square buttons going off the top of the screen? Like what? I actually don't know. So before we answer any of those questions, that beams reflected mirrorably area. Come to think, so that's the theme. That name is good for the overworld puzzling that occurs in this area, but is it good for the levels? Let us look at the levels. Yes. Yes. Okay, so it's good. It's good. Our overworld puzzles are on theme. We're going to shorten that to beams mirrorably. How's that? Oh, this also has all the old names, I think, because etc. Wait, no, it shouldn't. It should not. Oh, maybe it's just because we didn't force reload the one that we think that we're using, which is the Korean one, even though these strings are not in the Korean one, so it's falling back to English, but it's not reloading English because it doesn't think we're using it or something. I don't know. Okay. Why is this a disaster? Why does the position of the buttons have anything to do with what language we're in? That is not good. That is not how it should be. Not how it should be. Okay. Okay, one problem at a time. So let's just start with the buttons at the top of the screen. What am I even doing such that those are going off? And I hope it's something easy. Draw overhead map, control prompt. So the max descender and max ascender, these tend to not be good for these languages. Let's just see. Let's make a debug build and we'll see what it is. Like maybe it's a bad idea for me to use these font metrics to do layout. It works fine for the fonts that I like in my language, but apparently not everyone sets them in a way that makes sense. Or maybe max descender is about some pathological character that ruins it for everyone. I don't know. Let's, what is this? Back here. Oh, that is a hallway, I guess. No, it's not. It's a floor. Okay, whatever. Okay, so here the buttons are nicely positioned. They should always be in the same place. Like it shouldn't have anything to do with like font size, right? Exactly. Okay. So I don't think, yeah, we shouldn't do this at all. Like this is a different thing for some reason. Oh, because it's the text as well. Icon X, icon Y. Which is X0, Y0. So why would that, right, I guess because we're passing a different Y0. Overhead map control prompt. This Y0 should not depend on font size. let's go times overhead map icon margin scale, just because we're going to put this in more than one place. Okay. So here we're going to say Y margin is this. And then Y0 like Y, okay, this Y should be the same. Okay, so first of all, we should be editing this up here. But then when we get down here, probably should put that in the function anyway. Okay, so this Y margin goes up here. We're going to go we're going to move this Y down here. We're going to say Y0 is, no, Y1 is display height float minus Y margin minus height. And then something like that. So Y0 for the top line, blah, blah, blah. What was this temp square height? Temp square height. I mean, why is that different from height? All this square height. Square height, square height. This is the new name of this game, square height. It's hip to be square height. Here, there, and everywhere. Here, there, and everywhere. What are the tag variables? I don't know what you mean. Received a call, did not. Oh, yeah. $211 square heights. Okay, this could be horrendous. We might want to run it on English first so that any of these other, like, oh, I'm not used to this font kind of questions are not polluting the issue. Okay. Well, it's mostly okay. The thing is that Max Descender okay, so first of all, how do we feel about our square height? I guess the thing is now, well, okay, I was going to say you want the text box to be centered exactly where the key press is. However, that's not necessarily true because this effect, hopefully we're going to do a nicer effect on the text, like a, you know, instead of just a box. But it's still too, the font's too high. Um, and the box is like too big right now, but we're not going to worry about the box being too big. Well, no, though. So, wait. When we do this, this looks good. This looks good. So, do we want like a ratio? Let's, instead of explicitly passing this, because this is just more crap to keep track of. Okay, so text Y is passed in right now. We're getting rid of that. And we don't use it till the last line. So Y0, Y1 are just oh, yeah, there's some transparent little border around the bitmap for the key backing, which is why this looks bigger. The rectangles are the same size. Okay, so I don't I okay. Let's see if that does something. Opacity type mismatch 190, because we were also passing text Y there, which we don't want, and we don't want, and we don't want. I don't want. I don't want. I don't want. Okay. Okay, now it's messed up. Messed up. For English, let's look at the variables. I think the descender ratio must be negative. Yep. Why? 46. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Do that just in case. You guys know just in case, right? He's a cool guy. No, don't recompile. No. Okay, that looks awful. Oh, I'm doing the wrong thing. I mean, I think we do this. Okay. That's close. It's a tad hair off. But that could just be like a 1 pixel math thing. It's just a tad hair off. I don't know why there's a difference. Between these two things. It looks good in, well, we're not doing, maybe what I'm doing is mathematically not matching. I think I want to think about that later. And I think before thinking about that, I want to take the W on language. I want to get the Asian languages at least in the same ballpark, and then we can fine tune them all. Like they were horrendously broken, 20 minutes ago or whatever. So we just want to get them out of that state. Okay. Still not like good, but way better. Way better. Like Korean definitely, even when we draw the text on the button, it's like not vertically centered right now. So we need to think about that. So I imagine all of these, the descender math, whatever we're going to do here, is not going to be right. Yeah, so this has sort of the same issues as Korean. It's being centered vertically on the button better. But it's going below the scenarion. So descender ratio is 0. So I guess I mean we just need to figure out. So when we do draw control prompts, so we figure out text X and text Y. Typical ascender. Oh, we're not using max descender here. That's the thing. Okay, so maybe we can factor this, right? And then just use that. Get string width in pixels. Floor Y plus size. What is size? Okay. Text Y is going to be get text Y for vertical centering Y size. All right. Okay, font. Whoops. Don't save that, please. Whatever happened there. Okay. Then we can try to call that very same function from here. text Y is get text Y for vertical centering. Font Y0 height. No, font dot character height, I guess. Something like that. But if it's font dot character height, why don't we just use that? We'll double check that in the debugger. Hey, look, it's better. I mean, I would still tweak it, but like I said, the rectangle is probably not the effect. It's a little bit low, in my opinion. I don't know why. Yeah, the labels are not. The labels on the background are not. Oh, these aren't low anymore now. So that might have been a one pixel guy scenario. Okay. You know, I think instead of promise and promise two, I don't think we need both of those labels. I think it's just the promise and it moves west. Promise the promiser. It's exactly like that. Just like you said. I'm gonna try to edit this in debug mode. Editing in debug mode. So we're gonna find this guy. I'm gonna try this. Okay, and we're gonna get rid of this. Now, what's our theory about vertical there? I don't know. I mean, I feel like it should probably go down a little bit, but we'll see. We'll see when it loads in the debug mode. Yeah, you know, I feel like it could go like down one and then Mirror Isles. Well, yeah, the positioning of Mirror Isles is weird, so we could. Okay, let's try this. Um, South 1. That's y equals 72. We go over here. 72. No, not 63, 72. 72. Merely 72. And then what does that look like? Let's see what that does. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of symmetric and all right. I mean, they're not horizontally the same size, but you know. Okay, so that's pretty okay. Let's look at it. Here. Look, I'm just incredibly bored by people showing up and wanting to talk about graphics APIs because all the graphics APIs are stupid. They're not cool. They're not something that's fun to talk about. They're just a giant pain in the ass because bad decisions have been made, right? So, okay. So the letters that are actually in Chinese are looking pretty good. Um I mean, I think we'll want to tweak some scaling there later or something, I don't know. When we're doing the final effect. The obviously the English words are messed up, but they're, I believe, going to be translated into Chinese. I don't know. We'll figure it out. We'll see. If not, we're going to have to do something there. So yeah, I mean, it's really a sore point with me because a very large percentage of the work of doing a game like this is just graphics, right? And of the graphics, a large fraction of that is um, just dealing with the crappy APIs. It's really a problem. It's like really a problem. And it's stupid and you know, that's that's what there is. How much time do you spend with gameplay compared to the engine working tool? I don't even know how to compare. I mean, this is a very complicated game gameplay wise. So it's significant, but it's still, you know, it's probably 3 times as much work in graphics as in gameplay. Something like that. Okay. Do we have testers? Yeah, we have testers. They be testing. They be finding problems. Might be bedtime soon. We'll see. Um, this is a lot better. We're gonna take the W on that. Um, fix overhead map control prompts being woefully off screen in CJK languages. However, untranslated area pins still are not well centered. But maybe they don't need to be if they will be translated. Moved some area pins around. That's pretty good. So area pins on the ground floor are pretty good. Pretty good. That might be that's our 3rd hour of streaming tonight. I had wanted to get to more stuff, but we didn't know that we were going to have that CJK problem. It was all my fault. I wrote that code originally. I should have known. I probably did know, but I was like, just get something done for now. Um, if the entity data is in a textual format, why do you save an entity per file as opposed to anything else? Because what's going to happen is at some point there's going to be a source control conflict where 2 people have edits to the same file. And what do? Do you throw away the changes for what? Because sometimes those are really hard to resolve in any meaningful way. Sometimes it's just easier for one person to just back off their changes and redo them or whatever when that happens. If they're all in one giant humongous file, you can't do that. You have to throw away the whole fucking file or try to resolve it, and the resolver tool doesn't understand your file format and it's going to do something fucked up, right? So one entity per file means you minimize that kind of a problem. It sucks now because we have a lot of files, but I don't really know any way to reduce the number of files that is not going to cause source control problems. Maybe we got to write our own source control. I don't know. I don't know. Wouldn't that only fuck up in the one file approach if you both edit the same entity, which is the same error? What I'm saying is, yes, I'm saying this happens if you both edit the same entity, which does happen sometimes, given that some people are running automated commands, some people are doing God knows what, some people are editing things by mistake. Okay. Once in a while, people edit the same, not even the same entity, but the same field of the same entity is what matters, right? So if there's a conflict, so I just explained it. I don't know how to explain it any better than I just explained. If there's a conflict, how hard is it to resolve the conflict without throwing away all of one person's work? Is the question. What about Arc? We haven't looked at Arc, mainly because you don't want to change systems in the middle of a giant project. But we would look at it for our next game for sure. Give it to Chat GPT. That is the worst idea I've ever heard. Literally, literally never have I heard a worse idea than this idea that you have presented me with. Checking out a play test. All right. I think it's bedtime for me. We did a couple of not too long streams today. That's fine. Let's see. Can we find somebody to send you off to? Who's not a furry? Retro dungeon crawling roguelike RPG using blackjack. No! Cards, no! An entire generation of game developers has had their design brains ruined by cards, dude. Chill Rest stream. We could raid Chill Rest stream. All right, we're gonna raid this guy who has 0 viewers, and I hope the game's good.
Looks like
Thanks everybody.
that's not even used.
See you later.